was too good in the pregame that we had to bring it back for the postgame because it just makes sense. Tagged and bagged. It's a duck hunting season, and the Buckeyes put an end to Puddles the Ducks season tonight, taking down the last remaining undefeated team in college football in dominant fashion, beating Oregon 41-21. The Buckeyes enacted sweet revenge to stop and smell the roses right before rolling right into Jerry's World on a mission next week. Welcome to the Football Fever postgame show. I'm Kellyanne Stitz, joined by our cast of former Buckeyes, Jay Richardson, Obi Stillwell, and Ben Buchanan. We'll check in with our Dave Holmes out in Pasadena in just a second, but guys, that 12-engine, 12-cylinder engine that we were talking about, the V12, right? They were firing on all cylinders tonight. All gas, no brakes, coming out to that fast start. And as Jay likes to say, when they play to their full potential, they certainly look like an NFL team out there. Well,
I'll start. I think this was the best. Call it what it was, guys. This was the best team in America. Tonight. And they play at their, I think they have the highest ceiling. We've known that for a long time. Whether you look at the plethora of wide receivers that we have with Emeka Egbuka, great to see him get in the end zone tonight. But guys, the story was Jeremiah Smith, number 4. We've said it for a long time. Get this guy the ball. Be a Ferrari. This team is a Ferrari, and we saw whether you call it a supercharged V8, a V12, whatever it was, all those cylinders were humming tonight, and this was an offensive explosion, guys. This was a pleasure to watch. These Buckeyes looked exceptional.
Well, Ben, really quick, so the Buckeyes building off of their momentum following that win over Tennessee, what really impressed me was that fast start again. They came out swinging 14 points in the first quarter, 34 points, and 390 total yards by halftime. They just look like they couldn't be stopped, and that fast start is key.
Yeah, to me, that's the difference of a good football team to an elite football team, right? And we're just seeing them just plow through these playoffs now. Started with Tennessee, right? It was a devastating loss to team up north. How are we going to regroup? Where are we going to go from here? And then they just go out and do a spanking to an
and you just hang in there and you keep swinging. And I talked to these guys about it a couple weeks ago. That's life, and this team is resilient. And when you surround yourself with great people with great character, you find yourself working through difficult times. And at the end of the day, we wanted to win a national championship.
Such a fascinating dynamic to have this senior-laden, experienced defense, and then the most talented player on offense in all of college football to be a teenager, a freshman, and Jeremiah Smith. JJ tonight, 7 catches, 187 yards, and 2 touchdowns. For a little comparison, JJ had 187 yards. All of Oregon's receivers combined had 181. He would be my player of the game, but is he Jay Richardson's player of the game? We're going to find out as Jay Rich hands out his own hardware when the football fever rolls on.
Enjoying the moment. My first time at the Rose Bowl. You hear all about the historical moments here, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Enjoy, young man. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Player of the game, Jay. Was there really any doubt about who earned your roses tonight?
The freshman phenom himself. I have been waiting to give this kid this award, and it's not that he hasn't earned it probably 4 or 5 times over. He's just never balled like this. Oh my goodness. 187 yards, 7 receptions. You guys know that. The 2 tutties, we know that. 27 yards per catch. Just underneath that is absolutely absurd. And it's when he did it, when it counted most, right away, getting on them. Double coverage, triple coverage, it don't matter. And everybody should be talking crazy to the Oregon players because they should. That's what you do when you moss 3 guys like that. But at the end of the day, there is no scheme for this kid. I don't think people understand cover 3, cover 0. It doesn't matter. Cover 5, man under 2 deep. There's nothing you can do when you have a kid that is literally the exact same size as a prime Julio Jones when he was in the NFL at 6'4", 225 pounds. Probably is going to run about a 4.39, 4.4, somewhere around there. And he can run through contact. He's physical.
Yeah, he's
one of his touchdowns, he ran right through a tackle into the end zone. He's a kid that can do it all. We've talked about him tons, but you never get enough of talking about him because every time he steps on the grass, he does something that you're just not used to seeing. And then you remember that he's only a freshman.
19
it makes no sense at all. I'm a big proponent of he should be a one and done like in basketball. He should be able to go to the NFL right after this season because he would be a top 2 pick, and I don't think anybody would argue that. I'm so grateful that Ohio State gets to have him for 2 full more seasons, and the rest of college football is absolutely terrified. There he is on single coverage, just blowing by his guy. He's got short speed. He's got long speed. He's your player of the week, player of the game, player of the season, player of the year because he's unbelievable, and it's a crime that he did not get the Biletnikoff Award. I don't understand that, but congratulations, JJ. You are the man, and you have more work to do. A lot of football to be played for Ohio State.
JJ was looking like JSN in the 2022 Rose Bowl, but this man's a freshman. It's just incredible things to watch.
Absolutely absurd talent. In his humbleness, just to hear how calm he is.
Hardworking.
And his intelligence. This kid knows the whole route tree. He does everything at a very, very high level. And we're grateful to have you as a Buckeye, my man.
And for a couple more years here. Now, coming up, we're going to relive the big plays from the Rose Bowl in the Honda highlights. Stay with us. You're watching The Football Fever.
In the football fever, the Ohio State Buckeyes earned a trip to the Cotton Bowl and some redemption after defeating the Oregon Ducks in the Rose Bowl this evening.
That's right. Kellyanne Stitz is live in studio to relive an exciting game. And Kellyanne, this team pretty much looks unbeatable right now.
Yeah, Rodney Stacia, I truly believe this team can win it all. The Buckeyes handing the top team in the country its first and only loss of the season in a rosy rematch. We talked about how Ohio State is like a V12 engine, firing in all cylinders, coming off of that first round win against Tennessee in the Football Fever earlier today, and the Bucs were all gas, no breaks in the Rose Bowl. The first play of the game, I was ready to book my flight to Atlanta. Will Howard hits the G. Scott Jr. for a 30-yard gain. A couple of plays later in that opening drive, I was ready to pack my bags to Atlanta. Jeremiah Smith in motion, he reverses. Howard pitches it to the freshman phenom, who turns on the burners. 45-yard touchdown to put the Buckeyes on the board first, 7-0. Then it's still in the first quarter. Howard airing it out deep over the middle to Emeka Buka for a 45-yard touchdown. Ohio State started off fast, 14-0 over Oregon. Second quarter here, Ohio State's defense enacting sweet revenge, putting more pressure on Dylan Gabriel in this meeting. Ducks going for it on fourth down. Cody Simon narrowly picks it off. Turnover on downs. Buckeye ball. Howard to the freshman phenom, Jeremiah Smith, for the 43-yard touchdown connection and Smith's second touchdown of the game. Hall of Fame former Buckeye Chris Carter was in the house this afternoon, loving it. JJ looking like JSN in the 2022 Rose Bowl. A career-high 7 catches for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns for Jeremiah Smith. All gas, no breaks in the first half. Literally, Travion Henderson breaks off for a 66-yard run to the house, the third longest run of his career. Ohio State goes on to dominate the top team in the country, 41-21 in the quarterfinal. Will Howard threw for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns, while the defense held Oregon to negative 23 rushing yards because of 8 sacks and multiple tackles for loss. The Buckeyes dominated in all 3 phases this afternoon. Now, I am getting ahead of myself. Before the national championship game in Atlanta on January 20th, the Bucs will first need to beat Texas next in the Cotton Bowl Classic. The semifinal matchup is set for Friday, January 10th at 7:30 p.m. And I mean, guys, it's hard not to get excited about this Buckeye team. Stacia?
It's so true, and I just want to watch those highlights over and over. Just like say it again. I love it so much. Thank you, Kellyanne. The Football Fever team is revved up after tonight's rematch, so Kellyanne and the team will have a full breakdown coming up at 11 on our sister station WSYX News with a special The Football Fever post-game show.
Going on the attack in the Rose Bowl. Primetime JJ was primetime form in this one. Will Howard starting us off to Jeremiah Smith on a short dump off, and then the freshman phenom, he turns on the afterburners, breaks a tackle, throws up a deuce as he coasts into the end zone. Jay, we say it every week, this guy is elite.
Yeah, Ben, so this will go down as a reception for a touchdown, but this is essentially a kind of a converted running play, right? I mean, it's behind the line of scrimmage. It's a great schemed-up play to get the entire offensive line going one way. You bring Jeremiah underneath the coverage, and then you just kind of dump it off to him. He runs through contact, no problem, and he's so fast and explosive that it takes 2 too long for the Oregon defense to react to what they're seeing.
Yeah, it was amazing. He had a heck of a day today. The defense does their job, and a poor punt from Oregon puts the Buckeyes in perfect scoring position. This time Howard dots up Emeka Egbuka with a beautiful ball. A little bobble there, but number 2 comes down with it to make it 14-0 Buckeyes. Obi, great 1-2 punch of receivers we saw today.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just see the confidence of Will Howard and him just throwing that ball ever so gently over the shoulder of the defensive back. He got his hand on it a little bit. But Emeka Egbuka, his concentration while he's still running, and then to make that catch, squeeze it, and then go in for the touchdown. That was beautiful.
Yeah, you see the concentration there. You think they're letting Will Howard let it fly a little more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I think there was a little conversation between the Will Howard and the receivers to say, hey, just let it go, man. Just don't get worried. Don't get stressed about it. Man, just let the ball go. You got the talents, the gifts and abilities, man. Let it go.
Not timid to, that's for sure. If you thought things were already getting out of hand, think again. Howard uncorking another beautiful deep ball. It finds who else but Jeremiah Smith. The Ducks defensive backs caught sleeping once again. JJ's all alone to make it 24-0 Buckeyes. But Chip Kelly wanted to show some love to the running back room as well. Travion Henderson finds a gap, and then he is gone. No one's catching him. A lung-busting 66-yard touchdown run, his 8th of the season. Kellyanne, Trey had a day today.
Ben, he certainly did. He's the home run hitter. Trey is so explosive. He's gone into beast mode in this playoff run. 66-yard run today, his 3rd longest run of his career. 2 touchdowns, 8 carries, 94 yards. Travion Henderson, have a day.
Yeah, that was the breakaway speed right there. Number 32, he's fast, he's physical. Man, there's that V8 engine, supercharged, getting into the end zone. Give him the glory where it's due. Love to see that. But the Ducks finding some life at the end of the quarter here. Dylan Gabriel extending the play with just seconds left on the clock. He finds Tayshawn Holden in the back of the end zone to put the Ducks on the board. The Ducks trying to find a way to get back into this game, right, guys? Going for 2 and getting it. OSU heads into the half 34-8. That late touchdown for the Ducks seemed to certainly reinvigorate them here. Gabriel putting on another good drive, and Oregon finds themselves on the goal line again. Noah Whittington gets handed the rock and powers in for a touchdown, 34-15 Oregon. We've got ourselves a ball game now. Jay, a little momentum change here.
Yeah, this is an interesting moment of the game. Even though the score looks like a 20-point margin, Oregon found a rhythm, and Ohio State switched to man coverage, and they were able to kind of dice them up a bit, got in there, got a score, and we knew at this moment, okay, Ryan Day, now is the time where you have to get control of this game again, albeit either with your defense or your offense. And then you saw offense right away, very next possession, come out and score, and then the game was back in control.
And they did just that. But that momentum gets stopped, as you mentioned there, in his tracks. Travion Henderson with a gut punch, a powerful back, gets behind his blockers. Try as they might, they're not going to stop this guy, number 32, forcing his way into the end zone for his 2nd score of the day. Obi, they were the more physical football team today, the Buckeyes.
Yeah, you know where they really were. I loved seeing how Trey got really physical at the end of this play to make sure that you put the nail in the coffin in this, and knowing that Ohio State needed to continue to control the momentum of the game. He did that. The big boys up front give them a lot of credit, man, and it was a beautiful thing to see.
It's great to see them celebrating right there, right? Flash forward to the 4th quarter, and the Ducks showing a little more life. Gabriel finding Holden once again for the deep route for a 27-yard touchdown toss. But it was too little, too late in this one. The Bucks enjoying some roast duck tonight. Final score in the granddaddy of them all, Buckeyes 41, Oregon 21.
Are we playing blackjack right now?
Blackjack.
This is purely for fun blackjack. This isn't like NIL blackjack or anything. This is just for kicks. Just for kicks. Is Quinshawn the dealer?
Yeah, I'm the dealer right now.
Okay.
And the dealer has 10. No.
Yeah, deal me in. Yeah, deal me in. Yeah.
So look, we're going to do $100 right there.
$100.
$100.
All right, I don't have that NIL deal, man. All right, let's go.
All right, cool. Well, you're in. You got 9.
Okay.
You need 2 cards?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll stand on. I'll stay.
Double down.
Doubles against a 10.
I like that. You're lucky. I'm telling you, you're getting lucky. I'm finna call them folks, security, get him out of the casino.
I'm gonna have to get Quinshawn a free lunch in the media room. He's about to go busto.
How much you put out? Oh, he didn't even bet none. Oh, you didn't even bet none?
No.
That don't count. That don't count. All right. Yeah, he put 500 up. Oh, 400? All right. All right, here you go. Yep. What you want to do? What you got? 15. Oh, 15. You gonna stay? Hit.
He's going to hit the 15.
Before I put this card out, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't think he should do that.
Quinshawn called it. Quinshawn called it. He went bust, though.
The house always wins, man. The house always wins. All right, what you gonna do? Hit. See? You got some stuff over. Okay. Hey, 12. You gonna stay?
He's going to hit a 12. Woo! 20.
We like those. Give me a card, dude.
Suddenly Quinshawn's sweating bullets over here. The dealer's sweating.
The dealer is sweating right now, bro. Give me a card, please. All right, you gonna hit again?
16. Here comes the bus card.
I tried to tell him to stay, bro. You don't listen.
Dealers' keys to the game beat the Ucks. No, not a typo. The last time these two teams played, Ohio State's defense failed them, but this time around, they came to play. Where there's a Will Howard maintaining his stellar playoff form with another lights-out performance in Pasadena in game number 2. Now time for game number 3. And we can't talk about the keys to the game without the man behind their creativity, Dave Holmes, joining us live one last time from Pasadena. And Dave, you've been following the team's preparation in Pasadena this week. Are you surprised by how easily the Buckeyes won today?
Yes and no. It's hard to project this team because if you look at their last 2 games, Michigan and Tennessee, they played their worst game of the season and their best game of the season. So whenever you had a Jekyll Hyde scenario, it makes you a little uneasy to project things. I will say this, that we've known about their ceiling all season long. Ben used that term earlier in the show, their ceiling. We know that when Ohio State plays well, they're the best team in the country. They showed it tonight. But that said, no, I'd be lying if I told you now in hindsight that I thought they would just beat the doors off Oregon by 20 points like they did. And really, it wasn't even that close. It was actually much worse than a 20-point win, Kellyanne.
All right, Dave, listen, this one's in the books. We already knew what was going to happen. They put belts to you-know-whats. Now I got to ask you this. Moving forward, can you see anyone stopping this team on their march to a national championship?
Yeah, when I look at the bracket and the teams left, there is one team that actually makes me worry. One team that could beat Ohio State. That team's Ohio State. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If they play like they did against Michigan, then they can lose a game. But as we've seen now against Tennessee, we saw it against Indiana and Penn State, and tonight against Oregon, certainly. When they play up to their standard, no, there's no one left who can hang with them. And this is the team that we thought they could be back in August. Now they're finally playing like it. So as long as Will Howard doesn't go into pick six mode, as long as the defense doesn't go 2022 Michigan game mode, they're going to win the national championship. But you have to still go out and do it. And this is not the SEC, guys, where we award hypothetical wins. You still got to go out there and settle it on the field. So if the Buckeyes take care of business, they're going to win it all.
Well said, Dave. Seems like this was the best team in America tonight. Now, you got to look at Jeremiah Smith's performance up close and personal. We all saw it on national television, but you saw it at the Rose Bowl today. What did you make of JJ's historic game? This guy is incredible, man.
It's unbelievable. He's barely old enough to go buy a scratch-off ticket, and he's out there running circles around the only undefeated team in college football. When you throw the ball well to Jeremiah Smith, it ends up as a touchdown. When you throw it poorly, it ends up as a circus catch. That's kind of what happens. You throw it offline, he's going to catch it anyway. He's going to make a highlight out of you. You throw it on the money, he's going to turn it into 6 points. I mean, only good things happen when you target number 4. And I talked to him earlier this week at Media Day, and I asked him the biggest difference between the regular season and that Tennessee game, and he used the word swagger. He said, we have our swagger back. They have confidence. It's a quiet confidence. I thought they were looser all week when I talked to the players. They seemed more calm than they did going into Tennessee. I think Tennessee showed them, you know what? We can put that blue game in the back of our head for now. Now, it's going to come out again next November. But for now, we table it. We put it to the side. Will Howard's greatest quote was, we can't let them beat us twice. Forget about it. You can still win a national championship. And now JJ has the swagger, and the rest of the team does too.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. Great work out there. Make sure to get some sleep and safe travels back here to Columbus because it's on to the next, guys. This team is on a mission. They will roll right into a meeting with Texas in the Cotton Bowl Classic in the college football playoff semifinal. Texas nearly lost to Arizona State today in 2 overtimes. 39-31 was the final score in the Peach Bowl. This afternoon, I am confident that in the Buckeyes' ability to beat anyone, as Dave just said, including the Longhorns. Guys, how are you feeling about this next matchup?
This is going to be a fun game in the Cotton Bowl. I think Texas is the only team that can match up with Ohio State physically in the trenches. They have big, strong NFL players on their offensive line and definitely their defensive line. The difference will continue to be on the edges. Ohio State is just absurdly talented on the edges, and with Will Howard, who I think is playing better football right now than Quinn Ewers, which is kind of crazy when you think about where these two guys started. So it's going to be a fun game, but you guys know what time it is.
Hey, Quinn Ewers also transferred from Ohio State to Texas. I'm sure he'll have a little bit of extra motivation, but the Buckeyes defense, man, they are playing lights out. Obi, how are you feeling about this matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Texas has a Lombardi Award winner offense on that line. Then they also have a Thorpe Award winner on the defensive side. So the physicality of this game is going to be well matched. I do think that Ohio State has the better athletes, and I think once again, if we get the ball to JJ, it's going to be a very hard matchup. You can throw the ball wherever you want to. He's going to make plays. I haven't seen anyone like that since Terry Glenn, who I played with, who was someone that could jump up and get the ball and outrun the defense.
Let it fly, right? Fast and free. That's what we're seeing from these Buckeyes. It's just a special team, and they have such a high ceiling, guys. I think best team in America right now.
They're showing up as a team that we all expected them to be at the beginning of this season, and it's very fun to watch. But that'll do it for the Football Fever. The Buckeyes are heading to Arlington, Texas next to play the Longhorns in AT&T Stadium. We'll have another special pre- and post-game show for you guys to get you guys ready for that Cotton Bowl. Until then, good night, everybody and gentlemen.
Go Bucks!
Go Bucks!